All right, guys, this is the Gladiator Haul for January 27th, 2022. It happened somewhat unexpectedly this week. This will be the second to last Gladiator Haul. Sometime in April, we'll be doing the true final Gladiator Haul, which will trigger the end of Season 2. Season 3 will not have any Gladiator Hauls. It will only have eliminations. I don't know who's joining us right now. Who is this? Identify yourself.
Our commander Kyle or Carl. The other K.
Kane?
You know. Yeah.
Is it Kane? But is it Kane? All right,
Hello?
look. I don't know what you guys. Yeah, I don't know what you guys want to do here. Glimo, you're the one that called this meeting. It's too bad I don't play Fate Grand Order still, or I would play Fate Grand Order. What's happening?
I thought I heard Kane there for a second.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear
you
you.
now. We
Okay.
cannot see you, but we can hear you.
All right, I'm not on my own computer, so I'm trying to figure out why this camera is being fidgety.
All right, Glimo, talk us in while Kane figures that out.
So, Hunter, sent messages to everyone asking for a meeting. He is, I wouldn't say, I'd say he's dismayed, but not terribly surprised at the low turnout. He kind of thought Seth, being stable champion and all would show, but
Seth lives off base now.
Sighs resignedly and says, well, my friends wanted to get us together. I had some strange things going on. As you know, during our last meeting, I got that unexpected package with the bloody Lyran flag. I've been putting my investigator hat on, and I managed to track it back to the Solaris referee's private estate. And
he's coming to us from Australia.
Good eye.
Apparently, Carl is sitting on the ceiling for this in a zero-G suit or in gravity boots, or
it's keeping limber.
I have no idea. Hold on. Wait. Okay.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Nice flip.
He just walks in and does a backflip.
I love the idea that he was crouched on the ceiling and then he...
For an elemental.
Yeah, just digging my fingers into the sheetrock of the ceiling so I could cling.
Anyway,
Sorry, anyways.
I asked around, and apparently it was one Ibrahim Caribou who's been looking for me. I hear that he's a retired ref now, but he's kind of the fixer of the Solaris refs. I also heard that over the past few weeks, he's been asking a lot of questions about you, Adam, and then all of a sudden stopped in the last couple of days. I don't know if any of the rest of us are under surveillance. I don't know if he's going after one of us to get to the other of us, but I figured we should all put our heads together on this one, since it's not just a crazy super fan sending us bloody messages.
Why would he send you that?
Don't know.
For it.
He's not going down a list, is he? Like, trying to put pressure on each one of us and seeing who breaks?
Does this stable have any particular history with Caribou?
Oh, that's what I was hoping some of you could tell me. I've never dealt with him other than one time he officiated one of my matches and in my first year here. But other than that, I've never had an opportunity to cross paths with the man.
Sator, I believe you told me at one point that the stable had a brush with the mafia once upon a time.
That is exactly what I was about to confirm out of character, is that I'm pretty sure he was the guy who was both looking into us for mafia connections and when Seth was being clanny.
Caribou works for the mob.
Really?
That makes sense.
That's quite the declaration.
It's probably why I've heard his name before.
Either he works for them or with them. Once upon a time, that was not such an uncommon thing on Solaris.
Would make sense, him being the fixer of the group. Can't trust those damn fixers.
The Godfather theme starts playing behind Adam.
Nope, we're done. Nope.
That's over.
Not again!
I used it a lot. We don't need it. We're good. No Godfather.
Yeah, we need new devious music. A new flavor.
I missed Big Iron playing in the Sicilian string.
So all the stuff that that Hunter did was all. I mean, he didn't go public with any of the stuff with any of the mob stuff, right? It was all stuff that he took care of with the Highlanders.
Yes. I don't know that any of you would know about it except what Hunter has told you.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that Hunter has told Carl absolutely nothing. And since nothing was public, he doesn't really know much about any of this mafia stuff.
Oh, wow. I was the only one who was there. Oh, my God. Well, you know. Visibly. Point is, I've definitely heard the name.
Hunter did not divulge that he had the Highlanders perform a black bag operation.
Mm-hmm. Well, if a man who previously, or maybe still, works for the Mafia is currently interested in our day-to-day stable affairs, that is likely cause for concern.
Wait. Hold on. Take me back. When did Ibrahim get involved with the Mafia?
In season 1, when Ivan recruited him for doing stuff.
I don't think he worked with them. I mean, he worked with you. I don't think he worked with the Mafia, but if you want to draw that conclusion, I'm just confused both how you got there and how your character got there, but okay.
Is this a misdirection?
Yeah, I just want to make it really clear off the bat, Ibrahim Caribou does not work for the Mafia.
Yeah. What I do remember about him is that I'm pretty sure that he was the guy who was giving Seth a major hard time and like making sure he didn't advance much for. Wasn't he?
Again, you're conflating the messenger with the people who want the message delivered.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
You ascribe a level of control to Ibrahim that may not be correct.
In all likelihood, Ibrahim is, well, if he's a fixer, as you say, he is fixing this for someone.
If this man is a member of your dark caste, then what interest would they have in this stable anyways?
Dark cast.
Well, it makes me wonder what he has on us.
And there are other stables here.
Sometimes it doesn't feel like it with the attention we get, but you're right. This is pretty particular.
There are no members here who have a working history with any of them, are there?
No.
Never directly.
We chased them out 5 years ago.
I
Yep.
see.
They'll never be back.
Do you believe that this may be related to that?
I do not know. That's why I brought what little information I had here. I was hoping some of you might have had more pieces of the puzzle.
If you are the first one to have been engaged, is it possible that they may believe you were part of how they were driven out?
Could be. But I am one of the few left from that time.
True. Still,
But
I don't
I
know
was
why he's been so
off-planet when-
particular.
most of it went down. I signed on with the Highlanders and went on some combat missions for 3 or 4 years.
It was a rough time for the stable. We many of us took a break. I went back to the Allegiant Fields for a while myself.
I see. Well, perhaps the answer to this will lie in the past, something that not many of us can share.
If you really think that it had something to do with, as you say, the Darkcast, maybe we should ask one of the few of us left who did have a bit of a relationship with them. Shall we bring in Ro?
Ro appears at the door when you say that. Hello?
Good idea.
Hey, Ro, we have a bit of a brain teaser on our hands and thought that maybe you could help shed some light.
All right, so first off, Ro is wearing a white lab coat and has a name tag that says Dr. Ro Sabometrics. And he's carrying a lot of folders, but he nods and says, "Of course, Hunter McGregor. I would be overjoyed to assist you in your endeavor."
I appreciate that, Ro. Do you know of a man named Ibrahim Caribou?
I do. He is very closely related to some of my former work.
Really? Well, apparently, he's taken an interest in the stable. He was sending me vaguely threatening packages, and apparently he was following Adam around for the last few weeks, only stopped a couple of days ago. I was hoping maybe you might be able to help fill in some of the pieces here with what you formerly knew about him.
Formerly is such a strong and incorrect word. For long-term fans of, how shall I put this? The study and economic flow surrounding matches. Ibrahim Caribou was the man that they sent when they suspected interference. I have had several discussions with him in the past. Of course, all of my calculations I've made quite clear to him. He may not have understood my statistical analysis, but he did see that there was a math behind it. I wasn't simply fixing matches. I mean, I'm not Darkcast. I would never do anything illegal. That said, Ibrahim no longer works for the Solaris referees. He's retired with honors. Would you like his phone number? I can procure it for you.
Well, I'm sure that would be a helpful piece of information to have.
Of course.
But also,
I'll see if I can get it to you next week.
Can you think of any reason why he'd be taking an interest in the stable, and myself and Adam in particular?
Have you either of you done anything illegal?
Nope, just been a perfect gladiator since coming back.
No.
You
I keep
said
my hands
since
clean.
coming back. What about before that, Hunter McGregor? As a
Before that, I
real
was-
flesh human, I find that when people get extremely descriptive of their status, they are attempting to hide something, Hunter
before
McGregor.
that, I was on the line. You can say that what happens in the fog of war is, well, depends on whose side you're on as to whether or not you find the actions right or just or honorable. I'm
I
sure
want
to
you
my
to know that
opponents that
What
they,
you're saying is very suspicious, Hunter, when you start throwing words like right or just or honorable, because what I asked was, did you do anything illegal? And there are plenty of illegal things that are right and just and honorable from a point of view. And I would think your own point of view would uphold your own actions. So allow me to ask again, have you done anything illegal?
No,
And
I have
just to be
not.
clear, when he does this, he puts the papers down, steeples his fingers, and
Mm. No, I'm a law-abiding man.
Okay. Just gonna make a roll here to see if he can see through your deception. I got 2 dice. What do we need here? And we'll come back to that. Mr. Kaseki, I apologize. I believe I may have cut you off when you were speaking earlier. You were going to attest to your character in terms of illegal actions?
I just answered flatly no.
Well, it's quite straightforward. I suppose I have no choice but to believe you, since there's no reason to suspect otherwise. Allow me to say this then, Hunter McGregor, because of how cagey you are being. I cannot speak to Mr. Kaseki's character. However, several unusual things have happened recently regarding you, Mr. Kaseki. And as for you, Hunter, your answers have been extremely cagey. I may not understand exactly how the inner sphere works, or even how Solaris works, but I have an intimate knowledge of how criminal organizations on Solaris apply pressure to people. And a former Solaris referee who has retired, who may have records of things, may find himself in a position where blackmail may be an extremely profitable way to end out his, well, you know, in the clans we wouldn't let him get that. So I suppose he should enjoy his time. So I'll ask you one more time, Hunter McGregor. Is there any reason to suspect that this intimidation may all just be a lead-up to a blackmail situation? Is it possible he has something on you? And just know, I am a member of this company, so any answer that you give me, I will be forced to report it to Elizabeth.
I'm not really too concerned about what Elizabeth thinks and doesn't think, given that she's out the door at the end of the month.
He puts his hands on top of the stack of folders and slides one slightly forward and says, maybe.
The only thing that he might have is my former name, which, frankly...
Fritz Jaeger, yes, I know.
Yes, well, frankly...
I doubt that that's blackmail-worthy material. The Highlanders have accepted you as one of them.
Well, that's my biggest secret, so... He can do it with it what he will.
Let me ask you a question. You've done several off-the-book matches, Hunter, correct?
I wouldn't say several.
I would say at least several meaning 4 or more. Your little blood pits matches, and then some meetings with the Northwind Highlanders, correct? One of which ended with a death. He could be looking for revenge. He's a connected man. He could also be trying to apply pressure for you for a third party. And the same goes for Adam Kaseki, now that I think about it. So if I was one of the Inner Sphere's Inquisitors... Oh, sorry. That's a Jade Falcon term. I suppose I should ask. Law enforcement officers, the first question I would ask is, do you have any enemies?
Plenty. But most of them are on the other side of the truce line.
What a fascinating answer. Can I ask, Mr. Kaseki, with your rampant clan racism, is there some reason you haven't leaped across the table to kill me or Commander de Viller?
Neither one of you are active combatants in a war zone invading a homeland of mine.
What a nuanced answer. Hunter, do you have any enemies?
Like Adam, most of mine, I'd say, are in Jade Falcon occupied space.
I must say, Ro, I find it strange that you refer to a distaste for foreign invaders as racism.
We are not all the same.
No. But then again, thus far I've only commented on the ones I've killed and fought in combat. If you remember, I actually had kind words for Seth.
Forgive me, Adam. I don't typically watch your matches.
I don't particularly take offense to that. Most of them are pretty short.
Well, it seems like my use here is at an end. I will procure for you, Hunter McGregor, the phone number which you so desire. I would suggest you take a look at the following portfolios that I've assembled for you. These are the currently interested candidates who will be possibly replacing Elizabeth. And I cannot stress enough how important they will be while Elizabeth has done an immeasurable job preparing this stable to rise from nothing to a shot at the Grand Championship with not one, but 2 gladiators. You are entering the final phase of your training. Whoever replaces her will be guiding the stable for the next few years into a series of grand tournament shots. Whatever special skills they have, they may personally confer upon the stable. Now, of course, none of you are silent investors, but your words may help sway them. Choose who you think could be a possible master very wisely. Mr. Asator, I understand that you'll be rejoining us shortly. I'm afraid you've gone mute.
Excuse me, yes, I had something caught in my throat. I believe my time of traveling and, shooting the shit is coming to an end. I'm starting to get that trigger finger itch again. One, more than the occasional exhibition can satisfy.
Ro gives you a slightly inclined, slightly tilt head nod before exiting the room.
I liked him better when he was pretending to be the dude.
He still dresses like that, just to be clear, but that's never been how he talks and interacts with other people.
But you told me he was in a lab coat.
Yeah. He's also at work. He just got his doctorate.
And I wouldn't say it in front of a worm like Ro, but truth be told, Carl, the other reason I don't attack you over the table is because I'm fairly certain you would rip me in half and throw my body straight through the mahogany.
It would be a shame to damage the mahogany.
And I don't have any 50 caliber BMG lying around. At least not in this room.
Important distinction.
Yeah, right. Carl is just gonna lean back in his chair and continue to drink from his keg.
Adam raises a glass vaguely in your direction with a smile, but it's full of soda because he doesn't drink alcohol.
He'll return the gesture with a lift of the keg, like sort of an air toast.
Hunter at this point pulls out a bottle of whiskey. We'll pass it around if anyone's interested.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'll take a swig of
last
that.
time.
I seem to remember there was a whiskey dispenser in this room until someone fucked with it.
Was
That was
Kaseki
the
there
beginning
for
of
that?
the end for Linhilder's.
Oh, that was this season, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was this season.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
Just making
because
sure.
Carl came in with the keg.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was super disappointed at everyone drinking.
Yes, that does sound like Lynn Hilder.
Yeah, which was really funny because Adam was the only person not drinking, just sitting there with a cup of juice.
Do we have any information about what is going on with Nicholas?
From what I understand, he was arrested, fled, and then was possibly exonerated?
Wait, what?
You don't know about that.
Oh, we don't know about that? Okay, never mind.
I
Now he's currently hunkered
From
down
your
with-
point of view, the following things have happened. Cosmo wasn't seen at the stable for a few days. He sent you a weird text message. Ro told you all it was a practical joke. Cosmo was seen over the last week and a half hanging out with Trace Billings, millionaire mech racer / modern day. Who's the guy who owns the Cowboys? Doesn't matter. He's like the people who own, football teams now. He's just like a rich playboy. He goes around and does dumb shit. Like people who own football teams.
Did I learn anything about why he was hanging out with Trace Billings when I was tracking him down?
No, but he's rich, so, always good to hang out with the king. You keep hearing the name Trace Billings, and there's a file that the first file in the pile of files that Roe left that says Trace Billings.
Well,
I
Hunter will go over and start flipping through the files.
Okay, so go ahead.
I find it a little unsettling that for a man with the decision-making history of Nicholas, he does not seem like the practical Joker type. Perhaps there is something wrong with his mind.
doubtful. Bro's almost certainly lying to us.
Okay, so this is just the list that I have so far submitted from investors. The top one is Trace Billings. The one that Roe pulled out slightly reads Elizabeth Carmelian, and it also contains the names Guillermo de Bloomberg, Crystal Evans, aka C-Bill, Chris Cross, Astrid Elsa-Daughter. All of these people are being groomed, or sorry, not groomed. They're being investigated for potential candidates to replace Elizabeth. Elizabeth's own file indicates that they could offer her a humongous pile of money to stay. Essentially several dozen times what she's currently being paid. Given she's still paid what she got when she was, you know, what's it called when you start a new business? Entrepreneurialing. She was startup pay. She wants a competitive salary equivalent with a grand tournament level stable, which she does not currently have.
That in itself would be fair. I mean, she has gotten us far. I'm not, well, maybe I've crossed Elizabeth the least, but there's no denying that she helped get us here.
Who's that? Oh,
I'm
he's
the
the
guy
guy
who
that does
trickles some
the
money
meat
in.
commercials, right?
Yeah.
He made us a lot of money early on.
Oh, that's the guy who keeps showing up at all the anime conventions to talk about that role he had
Oh
in the
my
book.
god,
Yeah, exactly.
Keeps the business alive on the convention circuit.
We're still getting royalties.
It was a cult hit, man.
Oh my god.
It's a small but dedicated fan base.
We're talking about herb reincarnation.
Absolutely.
My god.
It's like when what's his face went around and did all the sci-fi conventions after Firefly got canceled.
Oh, Nathan Fillion.
Yeah.
Good move.
I mean, everyone here has a specialty that they could bring to the table. I think most of them would be straightforward and obvious as to what their specialties are. Some of these people are not only mech warriors, but gladiators, and others are closer to being business managers.
Far be it for me. I'm not an expert on the business side of things, but well, that's part of the point I'm about to make. Do we really need extra mech warrior expertise leading us when we are all experienced soldiers and some of us more so than others, gladiators? Is that really the area we need assistance with, or should we not focus more on someone who has a acumen for the technical business necessities of
I
running a
agree with
stable?
you. That's why in the military, all battalion leaders and above have no experience with the military. Let's be clear. I'm being sarcastic. I don't agree with you.
Yeah, it's tough to say. You know,
So-
it depends on how they would apply that
Probably
knowledge.
clash less with someone who made their way up to the arena and then moved into a successful business career than we did with Ms. Carmelian.
So
Fair
we've
enough.
got
She did not exactly appreciate some of our, how shall we say, eccentricities.
So we've got a file for Trace Billings, Elizabeth with a giant raise, Chris Cross. Who else?
Crystal Evans, which is C-Bill's actual name, Astrid Elsa-Daughter, and Guillaume de Bloomberg, which is an investor character who's being fronted. If you want to know more, in the Discord, they have placed a Billings for them. It's Omar Krieg, and it's like 10 messages up.
Okay.
More operations manager with Walunga Enterprises on Solaris.
Yeah, that is a really hard choice between, well, the 2 points just made, because it's true that we would clash less with somebody who's also been in this position, but, well, I don't mean to keep harping on this, but I really think that it was Elizabeth's business acumen that allowed us to even survive as a company this long to get here. We've pulled a lot of stuff. I mean, come on, Hunter. You know, we were barely a company sometimes.
I agree, but I feel like I feel like she didn't appreciate
Oh no.
our
Yeah, no.
eccentricities, and perhaps just as important as being able to understand the business side is being able to manage the talent, shall we say? And I feel like she was lacking in that department.
I'll agree with you there. So maybe we can thread the needle here and find a little bit of both.
What about someone sort of down the middle? Someone like, and he just like sifts through the files. This C-Bill, that's a Gladiator handle, is it not?
Yes, although it seems like C-Bill has always had a business sense alongside her the whole time. From what I can
would
tell.
lean towards someone like Sibyl or Chris or Trace, who have spent some time in the ring and then gone on to have successful business careers.
Yes, Trace Billings also would fit that bill, being a racer, as you said.
Should be noted that C-Bill has actually led a stable as, not as their champion, but as their manager.
Oh wow, I forgot she made it that far.
I do worry a little bit about Trace's impartiality, given that, well, we did kill his daughter and all.
Should also worry about C-Bill then, since she's currently dating a hillbilly.
Ooh.
Yeah, neither of those two things matter at all to Carl. He's just like, and
I think Adam probably didn't even like know that until just now. Somebody mentions that, and Adam's like, oh.
it would
It's
be
probably in the
valuable to
file.
have. It would be valuable to have the leadership of somebody who has seen combat. I would think that we would benefit from a semblance of leadership from someone such as Chris or C-Bill.
That's fair.
What are Chris Cross's business
I just don't
qualifications?
want the whole stable to implode when she and Hillbilly break up.
Chris
Now,
Cross.
let's not say when. Let's say if.
Gladiator relationships, really?
Fair.
Let me say this. I will relate it to internet streamers. I wonder why I would ever do that. There are a lot of high-end streamers that have a team of people who manage their time, that procure for them video editors, thumbnail artists, etc., etc. And there are some people that do it all themselves. Chris Cross has made it into the top 20 for quite some time. He's bounced up and down the bracket, but he's always represented himself, which is a pretty considerable. Independent mech warriors on Solaris typically aren't well thought of, and grand tournament level independent mech warriors are basically unheard of. You need to be making quite a bit of money to afford to play around like that. Either that, or you need to just not lose anything of value off your mech. It's hard to say whether Chris is just brutally efficient or really good at business.
How far up the rankings has C-Bill topped?
Like 40. Not the highest. She definitely has never been the most skilled mech warrior.
So she's gotten to the top half of the medium class.
Yeah. She probably, as an AC5, Ultra AC5 specialist, she's probably not going very much higher.
And Chris is still taking matches.
Yes, he is. But he's announced that he's basically not going to enter the tournament this year, which is akin to retiring.
This Chris has significant battlefield experience and time as a gladiator. That experience would be something valuable to all of us in this environment.
Quite likely.
Agreed.
Selfishly, I'd like to take him off the board as a competitor. It would make
It appears
myself
that
and
that's going to
Adam's
happen
job
either way.
rise to the top a lot easier.
You do not wish to fight him?
I won't lose any
I-
sleep over not fighting him.
That about sums up my feelings as well. He's
Curious.
a very formidable opponent. We fought side by side in a number of matches, and I will admit the thought of eventually having to challenge him does give me the willies a bit.
Truth be told, Chris Cross and I both have commonly fought in a way that gets people killed. It is
That's true.
not a great tragedy that we will not have to fight each other and risk either his death or mine.
That seems a little disappointing. Before he retires, an opportunity to fight someone with his success would elevate your own. Should you win?
It's the nice thing about the inner sphere, Carl. There's always more gods to the throne.
Interesting.
Call it
I
a
believe
perk
the
of-
stable would benefit under somebody such as Chris.
I think
Wait,
that's
I
quite
want to step
possible.
in real quick. First off, just know we have about 10 minutes left. Second off, before you commit too hard, I'm still open to investors suggesting more characters or more investor characters to join.
Right.
But it sounds like a lot of you are attached to Mr. Cross.
Yeah, I think Adam's definitely personally looking to throw his endorsement at either C-Bill or Chris Cross, probably.
Yeah.
Maybe Trace Billings. But also Trace Billings is a little oh, he's very fun, but he's maybe not somebody Adam would.
Yeah, after Asator just made all these points about somebody who can manage a business, I don't know. I don't think he would lean too hard into taking like a gladiator only type of person. So yeah, I'd also be leaning towards C-Bill or Chris Cross at this point. People who've proven they run their own business while being a gladiator. Just kind of rare skill set.
It's a little bit like being a dungeon master for a tabletop role-playing game. You gotta have a wide skill set.
I'm coming to find that out.
Yeah, bet you are.
And much like many things, it turns out to actually just be mostly managing people.
Ooh, buddy.
Something that
per-
C-Bill has a lot of experience with.
Let's say I've heard it referred to as herding cats.
Anyone
Wow,
else have any
absolutely.
other new business they want to bring up?
Are we going to talk about the fact that Cosmo sent us all are we going to talk any further on the fact that Cosmo sent us all a message that's saying that Seth was trying to bug all of our clues?
Well,
I'd
it
love
did
to.
not. It did not accuse Seth.
Yeah, but the clothes were commissioned by him. I just find it strange. In my experience, whenever someone goes around saying, "Never mind that, nothing to see here," there's absolutely something to see here.
Well, Ro is trying to cover up whatever it was that Cosmo's trying to expose. Why Ro's
Undoubtedly.
doing that, I'm not entirely certain. And while it is almost certain that it was Seth who did it, it is, I suppose, technically possible that it was someone else. However, in the absence of further evidence, I would say we go with the most what is currently the most credible outcome, or the most credible source of the problem.
Yeah, it's true. None of us wanted to be spied upon. I'm hoping, against hope, that he has some extremely good reason, but yeah, it doesn't sit right with me if that's what he did do. Maybe we should approach him directly about it.
If your accusations are that Seth is the one who was chosen to do something this underhanded, I suggest you speak to him about it directly.
Plan to.
In the
I thought he would be
meantime,
here.
I wish to understand more about this message, and I plan to go speak with Nicholas.
As you say that, the door is kicked open. Two figures wearing pilot's gear and large aviators enter in and begin moving directly towards Hunter McGregor's whiskey bottle.
Whiskey? Pixie?
Whiskey just starts drinking the whiskey while Pixie waits for a chance to go at that bottle.
What did you think of the match?
Whiskey takes his aviators off and says, I told you that was exactly how it was gonna go. I have a good sense for people because I used to be a cop. Still am, but used to be too. Yeah!
Cue the power chords.
Yeah. So he and Bixie sit down and are basically making whiskey sours for the room using ingredients they keep in the ammunition pouches, survival gear of their flight suit.
I'll take one.
Yeah.
Tor can have mine.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, they slide you over some.
I don't think Carl will
Sorry, have you
definitely
all met
indulge.
yet?
Only in passing. I can tell they have good taste already, though.
I replied I replied to the company welcome email.
Pixie nods.
Exactly.
She turns to everybody and says, yeah, we're Pixie and Whiskey. We're your new Transgressor 13A pilots. We're basically the best in the business. I hear you guys like to do jobs on the side from time to time. Well, unless you want to put Seth up in the air with you, I guess we're your air support.
Happy to have you aboard.
I heard he's giving up
air support's a
flying.
miracle.
With the disappearance of Alex, there is little reason for him to fly.
Alex. Right. Whiskey and Pixie look at each other. Again, they're basically reflected in each other's aviators, but they give each other a sour look and then turn back. Then they turn to look at Carl. Then they turn to look at each other. Then they turn to look at the room.
Do we know if an investigation with the law enforcement has started over the disappearance of Alex?
Carl,
You
Whiskey
reported
slides
him
you
as
a drink and says, Seth's investigating it. He came back after a flight to the moon. Pretty sure I saw him with a black box flight recorder. He's not telling anybody about it. He's been doing weird stuff lately. Bugging
Fascinating.
everyone's equipment. Drawing battle ROMs.
I will
know
also have a conversation with Seth. There is a lot that is unusual.
Indeed.
I hope unusual does not turn into distasteful.
If the bugging's true, it already has.
Cheers to that, Carl.
fan of my privacy, so it's true. This has left bad taste in my mouth already. But like I said, I hope there's some reason or some explanation.
Either way, it seems we all have a lot to think about. Personally, I just take this as being thankful that clan outfits are not entirely my style. Mine never left the box.
All right, guys, closing thoughts for this particular meeting.
I have one GM question.
Yes.
Does this count as an appearance
Yes.
for special abilities?
It always has.
Oh man,
Everybody, congratulations for sharing a scene with Carl. All your stress goes down by 1.
I was about to say the same. I also have shoot the shit, so I guess our stress goes down by 2 if this.
Hunter will give you all advice on mech customization. So
Yeah.
your next...
What is that advice?
Oh, that's so handy. I'm gonna need a new Cronus outfits.
Triple strength Myanmar. It's the best thing since sliced cheese.
He will talk about some of the retrofits that went on his new mech and how some of those technologies could be adapted to all of your various fighting styles. So that is...
I had an audience name for your Highlander, the Hyperlander. All right, let that roll around. See if you like it.
So that's Lance Mate Wingman. When you your next purchase from investors will cost 1 less wealth. Also, from Hot Dog, I have Sidekick. I compare glory with everyone. I have 1 glory.
I have 0.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just by default have 0.
I
Okay.
have 1 glory currently.
Okay. So Carl, you get a glory.
Woo! That'll
Yee.
be useful if I get shot in the face again.
Sounds like
Not everyone can Hunter McGregor their way out of damage. Yeah.
It was pretty awesome.
yeah.
All right. Any other closing thoughts or questions?
Suppose I've said my.
No, Carl knows who he's talking to next.
Kaseki?
Adam knows what his next moves are.
Well, I'm glad someone got something out of this meeting. Very last second. So anyway, investors, keep an eye out over the next month. We're going to be doing the vote for stable replacement. That's it. Have a good night.